Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. My name is Courtney and I'm very glad that you are joining me today. It's already almost March. I don't even know how I'm saying those words right now, but nonetheless, that makes it time for another TBR video. I haven't done a TBR video in such a long time. I don't even know when the last time I did one was. But today I thought that we would switch it up. I found a generator online for TBR prompts. This one is called Hey Reader. I'll put the link down below, but I'm super excited to try it out. So you can choose to do either a spinning wheel or you can choose to pick a card. I think that I'm gonna do the pick a card option because that just seems super exciting. And I think that I'm gonna choose 5 or 6 prompts. Probably 6 because I just always get way too excited when I'm doing this. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what prompts we're going to be following in March. Which card should we choose first? This is so exciting. I feel like other people my age would be like, literally, what is she doing? Like, is she okay? Yes and no. I think we're just gonna go right in the middle. An obscure book. Wait, what does obscure mean? Hold on. I feel like that means like scary or off-putting. That is not what it means. It means not discovered or known about. Oh, but this says dark, dim. Oh, okay, not known by many people. Okay, I actually think that I have a book for this one because I did one of those blind dates with a book and it was kind of an older book, so maybe that one's not as known by people now. All right, this is what I'm going for an obscure book. This is The Feast of Love by Charles Baxter. This is a book that I got in a bookstore in Chapel Hill. This was a blind date with a book, so I'm sure that it's obscure. I'm sure that a lot of people don't know about it. I also think that this came out before I was even born. This actually came out the year that I was born. It says that this book kind of explores the complexities of love throughout different narratives and relationships. It says that this is a near perfect book, as deep as it is broad in its humaneness, comedy, and wisdom. I know whoever read this book before really read it because it's actually falling apart a little bit, but I'm super excited to read it. Moving on to our second prompt. We went in the middle last time, so maybe we do one of them on the outside edges. Let's do here. A book with a 5-word title. I feel like this is one of the prompts that I have in my TBR jar. I know this because I've gotten this prompt so many times. And it would seem easy, but you would be surprised how hard it is actually to find a book with 5 words in the title. Yeah, as I predicted, I did not have many books with a 5-word title. It was so freaking hard. I have so many that are 4 words, not 5 words. But the 2 books on my TBR that are 5 words is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine and Emily Wild's Encyclopedia. Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've had these probably equally as long on my TBR, but since this is about vampires, even though it's not necessarily like a spooky season book, it feels that way to me. So I think that I want to save this one and put Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies on my TBR for March. We are kind of entering into like the springtime a little bit. It's warm outside today. It's got me feeling on a spring high. This book is actually super pretty to me because it's almost like a journal, the way that the pages are stacked, and it's just so unique in that way. I just love it. Like when you're flipping through and the pages aren't completely lined up, it feels like someone ripped them out raw and like bind this together. I know that there's another book in this series. I don't know if there's gonna be more than that or if this is gonna be like a duology. I'm not entirely sure, but I have heard that this book is very magical. I mean, I expect it to be. It's about fairies. It says Cambridge professor Emily Wild is good at many things. She is the foremost expert on fairies. And it seems like she goes to a village outside of her own and there's a mystery lurking in the shadows that she is determined to solve. I think that this sounds super fun and I think that it will be very whimsical, which is perfect for going into the spring. Prompt number 2. A book with a great first sentence. That is interesting. We'll have to test out a few books, kind of grab some and then read and see which ones stand out to me. Maybe so that I don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, because I have a habit of doing that with everything. I'll choose maybe 3 books and we'll read those sentences together and choose out of those books, because I definitely can see myself getting way too distracted trying to read every single first sentence on my TBR. So we're just gonna narrow it down and then see. Okay, I decided to keep it fair. We're going to do thriller books for the best sentence that's starting the book. So I chose 3 different thrillers off of my shelves, and that is going to be Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors. This one I have really been wanting to read. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and Watching You by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one of my auto-buy authors. I've owned this one for quite a long time, and I don't know why I've never got around to reading it. So let's see. First sentence in Rock, Paper, Scissors. My husband doesn't recognize my face. That's it. Not reading anymore. That's the first sentence. My husband doesn't recognize my face. If We Were Villains, M.L. Rio. I sit with my wrists cuffed to the table and I think, but that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold, those lightest word would harrow up thy soul. I feel like that's some Shakespeare there. And the first sentence of Watching You. DC Rose Pelham kneels down. She can see something behind the kitchen door just in front of the trash can. Okay, well, we're not going with If We Were Villains just because I feel like the Shakespeare kind of was confusing. DC Rose Pelham kneels down. She can see something behind the kitchen door just in front of the trash can. What is it? We don't know what it is. My husband doesn't recognize my face. I think what's standing out to me more is either Rock, Paper, Scissors or Watching You. I feel like this is gonna go into some sort of detective scene, and this is gonna go, obviously, into why doesn't her husband recognize her? Both of these little things on the cover say that they're unexpected, will keep you guessing. I think we're gonna go with Watching You by Lisa Jewell. It's just a longer sentence. It's a little bit more to go off of to kind of think about what the book's gonna be about. Okay, let's read and see what this book is actually about. Someone knows what you did. Melville Heights is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Bristol, England. It's not usually the sort of place where people are murdered in their own kitchens, but it is the sort of place where everyone has a secret and prying eyes lurk behind every curtain. So who has been murdered? And who would have wanted one of their neighbors dead? I knew we were going into it because Lisa Jewell is always like that. It's always some sort of investigation going on. I'm really excited to read this. I love that all of her books are set in England. It just gives it a little something different. We haven't done the outside yet. Written by an author with a different ethnicity than you. I am really liking all of these prompts. They're so original. I immediately knew what book I wanted to do for this prompt because I was literally about to start reading it on my Kindle the other day, but that is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a second chance romance about 2 people whose marriage really wasn't working out, and then they're kind of re-exploring their love for each other and really just how life can work being back together again. And I always love a second chance. I've heard amazing things about this book, and I've heard even better things about the second book. So all in all, I'm just excited to start the series. Prompt number 5. Okay, a book that was published in the last year. I have so many new releases that I could do this for. For a book that came out within the last year, this one I've been wanting to read a lot too. That is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This series, I don't know if it has an official name, but this is the 3rd book in the series that When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect is in. Both of those books I really enjoyed. They were so corny. Don't get me wrong, they were definitely corny books, but they just were so cute at the same time. Like you wanted to cringe and swoon at the same time. And it's a group of siblings, and this is the last book, so obviously I want to check in on our girl. I think that her name is Emily, the last sister, and it's looking like this book is going to be an enemies to lovers romance set in a small town, so who wouldn't love that? I also really like all of these covers. They're just super cute. I like the little cartoonish covers. Sometimes if you don't do it right, it looks super ugly, but these I think are so cute. I haven't rated any of the books in this series 5 stars or anything, but I do really enjoy them, so I'm excited to read this one. All right, and just because this is just so fun, let's do one more prompt. This one we're gonna choose with our eyes closed because I don't want to choose. I hope I clicked one. A book with a place in the title. None are coming to my head immediately, but let me see. I had to get a little bit creative when I was looking for a place in the title, but this is technically a place. So I chose for that, we're going to read Light Lark by Alex Astor. Light Lark, the title, is the place in this book, so it is a place. From what I've seen, this book is going to give typical fantasy. You have some enemies to lovers, you also have trials and I love trials. That's what's been pulling me towards this book because I haven't read a book like that in a while. I think that it's every 100 years the island of Lightlark appears so that the rulers of these places can fight one another to break their curses. I think that's pretty much the synopsis of this. I recently saw some other people read this book and their reactions just had me wondering what is going on, so I want to read this and I had to throw in some fantasy elements into this TBR. So those are going to be the 6 books that I have on my March TBR. Let's do a quick run through. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, Lightlark by Alex Astor, Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams, Watching You by Lisa Jewell, Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and The Feast of Love by Charles Baxter. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books before and if you hated them, loved them, felt indifferent about them. Let me know down below and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!